John, inspired by the Holy Spirit, he's far too careful a narrator to give us this detail without intention. He tells us exactly where they were sitting. One at the head, one at the feet. The precise location where the body of Jesus was laying. Every Jewish reader, when they hear those words, when they read those words, they would be feeling something electric in their bodies, because this arrangement was not new to them. It already had been commanded before. And that is in Exodus 25. God gave Moses the instructions for the Ark of the Covenant. It says, make 2 cherubim at the ends of the cover, one on each end. The space between them was called the mercy seat, the throne of grace, the most sacred place in all of Israel's worship, where atonement was made and heaven touched earth. And here in this carved out rock, smelling of burial spices, the narrator is painting the same picture with breathtaking precision. The tomb has become the new Holy of Holies. The grave has become the throne of grace. The empty space between those angels is not absence, church. It is the most theologically loaded space in the new creation, declaring without a single spoken word that Jesus is the fulfillment of everything the ark ever promised. He is the atoning sacrifice. He is the mercy seat. He is the one enthroned between the angels. Every sacrifice poured out on every day of atonement was a shadow leaning forward into this moment in history. The lamb has been slain. The veil has been torn. The tomb has been emptied. And Mary is standing outside weeping. And he tells us this time 3 times that she is weeping. This is not redundancy, but intentionally. He wants us to feel how deep her hopeless grief runs before we see how deep grace reaches. But here is the painful irony of the text that will not let us release this idea. Mary is weeping at the threshold of the very grace she desperately needs. And she cannot see it. So the angels ask not to gather information, but to interrupt that hopeless grief to see if she's able to recognize it. Woman, why are you weeping? This is such a grace-filled diagnostic question that they are asking. A mirror that they're holding it up in front of her in misunderstanding so she's able to see it. And Mary's answer for us that we now know the truth of what is happening, it is breaking our hearts. They have taken my Lord, and I do not know where they have put him. Word for word, what she told the disciples. Nothing has changed. Not the empty tomb, not the folded grave clothes, not even the angel seated at the throne of grace. Grief is still her entire theology. Her hopeless grief is still her entire theology. Church, but we cannot accuse Mary because every one of us has stood before where Mary is standing in this moment of history. Because maybe we haven't stand in a physical tomb, but at the grave of a dream of a marriage, a ministry, a prayer that has dissolved into silence. And this type of grief becomes our theologian. We become to interpret what is happening because of our hopeless grief, insisting that the empty space before us is evidence of abandonment, rather than the declaration of a grace we haven't had yet seen with our own eyes. But God, in his stunning, patient, unhurried kindness, he meets us right there and he doesn't let us go. Not after we have composed ourselves outside the tomb, in the weeping, in the confusion, and he does not leave us there. The tomb was never empty the way Mary feared. It was empty the way God had planned. The sacrifice covering that throne is not the sacrifice of bull and goats. It is the sacrifice of the Lamb who takes away the sin of the world. The throne of grace now is accessible, and you are invited to draw near to that holy moment. The very place where your hopeless grief has taken residence in your heart, God has already been there, and He has made it the throne of grace. He is never taken, because he has risen and he is already standing closer than Mary knows.